So I started going to school when I was 18 years old, pretty normally, just like everybody else. My initial major was business administration and entrepreneurship because my main career goal was becoming an entrepreneur, and I felt like the business administration degree was going to put me on the fast track. So my first year of school, my first entrepreneurship class, it was Intro to Entrepreneurship, which wasn't necessarily on my like little ed plan or whatever, but I really wanted to take that class, so I took the class. And I'm thinking in my mind when I take this class, because this was the only entrepreneurship based class in my entire ed plan, because it's my first year as a freshman. So you typically don't take your major classes until you become a junior, which is like a whole mess in itself. But anyways, so this was my first entrepreneurship class. So I'm going into this class. I'm in college now. I'm out of high school. I'm done. I'm finally going to start working on my career, and I'm going to get in this class and I'm going to learn so much stuff on how to become a successful entrepreneur. No. So I get into the class, and for the first couple of weeks, everything is like new and we're just like taking notes and stuff like that. But I really feel like I'm not learning much about how to start your own business. And I completely understand, especially now that I'm older, that everything is a process. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I was paying for this class. This class was not cheap either. It was $650, okay? Because that's how much each class in college costs. And so I was like, if I'm not learning anything, I need to learn something somewhere. And so I don't know what prompted me to do this, but on YouTube, I think it was just started to becoming recommended to me like entrepreneurship style videos. Maybe that's because that's what I was watching. And I don't know what I typed in or how the YouTube algorithm recommended dropshipping to me, but when it did, I felt like I discovered gold. Okay, you could not tell me anything. I started learning so much stuff. I was in my intro to entrepreneurship class and I was not learning anything that I felt was productive to me starting a business tomorrow. Okay, I'm in this class today and I want to have my Shopify website set up tomorrow. Okay, so show me how to do it. And the class was not teaching me how to do it, but the YouTube video was. So I was binge watching so many videos on how to start your own business. I think it was because I was watching a lot of vlogs, and from the vlogs that I was watching, I don't know. She was an entrepreneur. I don't know how I got on dropshipping, but once I did, it was game over. So I was learning SEO, Facebook ads, sales funnels, creating a website, and all of that stuff. And it was great because I finally felt like I was learning something that I can actually put into action and just not absorbing a bunch of information that I know that are not going to be productive to starting a business, because I'm watching people start businesses every day on YouTube and none of the stuff I'm learning are things that they are addressing. So when I landed on the business model of dropshipping, that was extremely appealing to me because number one, in order to start a business, you need money, and I had no money. And so dropshipping was a no inventory way for me to start business. So because I didn't have to purchase inventory, that meant that I could start a lot sooner, because when you start a business, there is a huge startup cost, and the amount of money that you put into it is basically how much you're going to get out of it. So if you only have $10, then don't really expect to get any more than $20 back. So once I get all of my product, I decided that I was going to sell like knick-knack school supplies. And I know in 2024 that sounds ridiculous, but keep in mind this is 2018, okay? Fidget spinners were popping. Knick-knack stuff like that was all of the rage. So we didn't even have TikTok yet. This was products that were in their prime at the time. Okay, I would be in my college class, my intro to entrepreneurship class, and the teacher would be teaching GDP on the screen. I just learned about GDP 6 months ago in high school. We're not going through this again. I'm sorry. And I had my one headphone in, listening to a webinar on how to conduct market research and rank in the Google search engine, Google SEO. So I felt like I was learning so much more on my own than what I was learning in college. And at the time, I thought the dropshipping website was going to work out. So I built my entire website. I added all of my products to my website. And now I launched my store and I posted on my social media like, oh my gosh, I dropped a store, blah, blah, blah. The problem came in when it came to Facebook ads and marketing. So you would think it's common sense that if you're going to start a business, you need to think about marketing and advertising. But I'm going to be real, I'm not blaming the college, okay? But they did not talk about marketing and advertising in the intro to entrepreneurship class either. But so when I was watching YouTube videos about it, they more so talked about ranking in search, and your products are going to get noticed because you're going to rank in search with Google SEO. When it came to Facebook ads, I was willing to spend money like $5 to $10 a day because that's all I could afford. But the part that I missed out on was the way that they were able to scale their business so so much in order to be making $10,000 to $30,000 a day is because they were spending a lot of money in ad revenue on Facebook and Instagram. And that is where I fell short, because I knew that I was gonna have to spend money on ads, and I was willing to spend some money on ads, but my main focus was going to be on optimizing search. So I did initially think that it would affect some sales, but I still thought that I was on the right track to earn as much money as they were saying that you could possibly earn in their courses, in their webinars and stuff like that. But then I started to realize that the way that they were able to scale their business so much is because they were spending most likely a minimum of $1,000, $500 a day on Facebook ads. And because they were spending so much money on Facebook ads, they would be able to target a lot of people. And then not only were they spending $1,000 a day, but they were also funding that $1,000 using business credit. And so at the time I was like, I am not taking out a credit card to spend money on a product that I don't even know for sure is going to work. That is a risk. I am not opposed to taking risks, but I definitely think that you should take calculated risk, and that to me did not sound like a calculated risk. That sounded like a very miscalculated risk. Now, as a new business owner, I was not taking into account all of the money that I have to spend on Facebook ads. So my Shopify store really didn't go anywhere, and it's kind of just like floating into the abyss somewhere. And I just moved on and decided that I would try something else. So with all of that being said, because I felt like I was learning so much online, like I still don't take that as an L. Like I don't take that as an L, my Shopify store falling into the abyss somewhere, because I learned so much, and that really prompted me to start all of the other businesses that I attempted to start. And so with just the Shopify alone, what I learned in college versus what I learned online by myself, not just YouTube as my only resource, but also like reading, stuff on Google, reading articles that I would find and things of that nature. So with all that being said, I really did not make the decision to stop going to school because of dropshipping until after my first year of college was done, because it had came time for me to enroll in school, and I knew that I was going to try again to start another business, not necessarily a Shopify dropshipping business, but I was going to try again to start some type of business. And the main point of me going to school in the first place was for me to learn all of the things that I needed to know in order to start a successful business. I don't want to sound like uninformed by like following people online or stuff like that, but I just felt like there were so many resources available to me. There were books, there were YouTube videos, there were articles online, there were course gurus, and pause. The reason why I was more inclined to buy a course from somebody who's potentially scamming or buy a course from a guru was because I paid $650 for my intro to entrepreneurship class, which is roughly around how much these courses from these business YouTubers start at anyways. And when I was in class, my professor was not an entrepreneur. She was a manager, a high-ranking manager, but she was not an entrepreneur. These people who are charging $650 for courses online, they're actually entrepreneurs. They're actually producing results that I can see real time. So I felt if I have $650 to invest in learning how to start a potential business, I'd rather invest that money into people who are actually doing it. That was my thought process. I didn't want to invest my money into college anymore, because in order for me to continue to take those entrepreneurship classes, I would also have to take math, science, and English classes, and I was done. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm no longer taking math, science, and English classes when, as you can see, I am laser focused and I know exactly what it is that I want to do, and I still had to pay $650 for those math, science, and English courses. So if I have the money to spend, whether it be a student loan or whether I'm paying out of pocket, then I'd rather take all of that money and invest it into what it is that I'm doing, because I was thinking to myself, all thousands of dollars at college, wouldn't it make more sense for me to take that $1,000 and invest it into a potential business? That was definitely my thought process. So I was thinking about all of the things that I learned in college versus all of the things that I learned online, and I felt at the time, even though my dropshipping business fell into the abyss or whatever, never even made one sale, everything that I learned was so valuable. I learned about Google SEO, very valuable. I learned about Facebook ads. I was on Facebook creating Facebook ads, looking for target audiences, researching target audience so I know where I want my ad to target. That's a very valuable skill. And I also learned how to build a website. What? How to build a website? That right there is already like, I learned how to build a website for free. Okay, and you don't need to be a computer software engineer. We don't need computer software engineer to build a website when there are so many successful businesses raking in $1 million revenue who use Shopify for their website. I learned how to create a sales funnel. I learned what a sales funnel is. I was talking to vendors, getting samples from vendors, learning how to source products from different vendors. I learned all of that on YouTube for free. I did not learn any of that in college. And so I thought it would be better for me to invest my money into something that I'm actually seeing a return in versus waiting 2 years, along with wasting time taking English classes, writing papers about things that are it just doesn't matter. Or I can invest my time and my money into doing something that is actually showing a return on investment, even though it wasn't a monetary return on investment, it were skills, because those skills that I learned were actually going to help me turn a profit in the future. And so I really don't take it as an L. It didn't go well. It did not go the way I was planned. I was for sure I was going to be a dropshipping millionaire. Like, you could not tell me. Like, I had the best story. It was so cute. I just ran into a hiccup. But yeah, I definitely don't take it as an L that it did not work out. I learned so much that I realized that I was learning more on my own than I was learning in school, and I was learning it for free. So I decided, why am I going to continue to do something, paying for something, if I can learn how to do it on my own for way cheaper? It didn't work out, but that's okay. In the meantime, stay strong. Bye, guys.